Hello guys, welcome back to my channel and welcome back to my kitchen. I hope that you've all been keeping well. Today I wanted to come to you guys with a video all about meal planning. So we're going to do some meal planning. Today is a Friday, meal planning, and then also my grocery haul shop. So really just taking you through that entire process of number one, planning meals and acquiring ingredients and groceries for the week ahead. So today happens to be a Friday. I like to do my meal planning on Friday because we hit the Saturday markets to pick up our fruit and veg. So tomorrow we'll be hitting the markets and I'll do a little haul then. But today is just getting everything prepared, and that's like in some ways like the biggest step. Buying all of the groceries is well and good, but if you do not have a plan for what you're going to be making and what you're going to do and what you really need, then it's just going to lead to a really disorganized week. You're going to have a lot of food waste. I just find when I put a little bit more effort into that bit of preparation and putting together a meal plan, even if it's not like down to the very last thing, but if there's some form of meal plan going forward, I just find that the week runs so much smoother. We're less likely to buy dinners out and just get takeaway, Uber Eats, and as I said, less food waste. It is really awful to reach the end of your week and look into your fridge and just feel like there's all of this stuff, expensive veg that you haven't utilized, you haven't eaten up. So doing that little bit of preparation before you hit the shops is essential in my opinion. So I'm gonna get started. I also have my liquid motivation. I'm still obsessed with these bubbly, they're just like a sparkling water. It just feels very bougie when it's in a can. But yeah, this is going to be motivating me through this process. Florence is asleep at the moment. And this is what I'm going to be using for my planning. So this is the meal planner that I like. It sticks to the fridge. You can buy it on Amazon. I'll link it below. It's got my old meal plan on there, so I'm going to rub this off and get started again. But yeah, just really simple, and I feel like it helps to have a physical meal planner that everybody can see so that everyone is on board with what's happening for the week. And it's just really good for me as well to be able to like easily see that. I have done meal plans like in the phone and stuff, but I like to just externalize it as well. So yeah, I am going to give this a wipe down and we are going to do some meal planning together. Let's go. So it is finally time to start writing up our meal plan for the week. In terms of what I plan for, so I mainly do dinners and not so much lunch and breakfast because they just tend to be pretty routine. I know that for breakfast we're going to do eggs. I know that for lunch most days of the week it's also pretty routine. I will plan for lunches on the weekend just because Nick will be home and we like to have something a little bit more interesting, but otherwise I am pretty much mostly planning for our dinners for the week. And before I start actually sitting down to plan, I will usually go and start shopping our freezer. So I've probably mentioned it before, but we have a big chest freezer and we like to buy our meat in bulk. So we'll buy like a quarter of a cow from a farm at a time, and that just means that we have a good selection of different cuts of meat in our freezer. So I feel like it's a bit like shopping your own freezer stash. I like to see what we've got in there, see what I'm going to be basing my meals around. So I'll just go through that, pull out some cuts that look interesting or things that I know what I want to do with them, but basically starting with that as the basis for some of our meals and seeing what we've got. So doing a dive, pulling out what we want, and then I like to transfer that to our fridge freezer so that it's just easier to access during the week when we want it. So for this week I picked out some topside to do as a roast, some sausages, and I think also a packet of steak. And I know that they can be the basis for a few dinners. If I have cuts that I don't know what to do with them, I can also pull them out, and it just means I'm going to have to find a recipe and figure out what I want to do with that. So this can also be a good time to pull out any favorite recipe books if you need a little bit of inspiration or some ideas. When I'm designing our meal plan for the week, there's a few different things that I have in mind from, I suppose, a nutrition perspective. So trying to keep some variety. We do eat a good amount of beef throughout the week. That's not something that I'm really worried about in terms of red meat, but trying to have like some beef meals, get some chicken in there, and fish we try to do 2 nights a week or some sort of seafood. So right off the bat, before I've even started, I know in my head that 2 of those meals for the week will be salmon and probably just something fairly simple. Some of the other questions that I can be asking myself during this process is Like, what meal will be a Florence friendly meal? Like, what will she eat easily? Not that every meal has to be that way, but just if you can think, like, I know that Florence, for example, really likes to eat sausages. It's easier for her to eat sausages than it is for her to eat a steak. So if that's something that I think is going to go over better, I'll factor that into the week. Some other things that I'm thinking of is, how much time am I going to have this week? Will Nick be out for any nights during the week? So is there any nights when it's just me and Florence and Nick's not going to be there? What commitments might we have during the week? And what will my energy levels look like as well? You know that if you have like a lot of plans on one day or in an afternoon, you might come home and just feel like you don't have energy to do a big recipe. So factoring that in as well can just help with the success of the meal plan being like carried out. And I am not perfect at this by any means, but these are all just helpful things I think to factor in while you're doing this whole process. Another thing is I like to have a mix of easy meals, so things that are just like a steak, potatoes, and veg, because that's really quick to throw together. It doesn't take much brain power. Also, like having a well-known recipe, so if, I don't know, you make spaghetti bolognese and that's really easy for you, or if making a curry is really easy for you, something that you don't have to reference a recipe and you can just kind of do it off the top of your head, you've really got it down. Those are also great to have in there. And then I might have one new recipe that I haven't tried before that week. So I just think it's not really helpful sometimes to go ahead and make like a meal plan based completely off of like a cookbook that you're into, because it can quickly just become too overwhelming. You want to have a good mix in there of easy things and maybe one or two complex things, or things that you haven't tried before. And one more thing, even though I'm writing these for specific days of the week, there is no rule saying that you have to follow the meal plan in that order. You might find that you are extra busy on Monday night and it's easy to just switch things around. So that is a factor as well. You don't have to be like super rigid about it. It's just giving you like a general idea and layout for what's happening for the week. So yeah, I am just planning out all of our dinners plus our lunches for the weekend. Oh, and one extra thing is that for our Sunday night meal, I like to make like a really big meal and then turn that into a dinner and then all of the lunches for next week. So we'll freeze them and he'll take them for his lunches. So yeah, that is pretty much it. Okay, so I have popped all of our meals for the week on our meal planner, and now I'm just gonna go ahead and pop this all into a shopping list. So I just keep shopping list on my phone, just using like the Notes app. I have a Google Pixel, so I'm sure it's all the same like in all the phones though these days. But anyway, I have like the shopping list, so I'm just going to literally go through this, pop in everything that we'll need to make all of these meals, and then I'm just going to go through our pantry items, through the fridge, and just make sure like we've got everything and what things just generally need topping up. Like for example, I'll go through all the dry goods. I think we need to buy some more quinoa, but just other little bits and pieces that we'll need that are kind of maybe outside these meals or might be used for lunches and things. So just making sure that the house is generally restocked well, and also checking other things that are like not to do with food. So laundry detergent, toilet paper, like all of the other fun bits that we'll need, salt, pepper, like all of the other basics that we could possibly need or could possibly run out of during the week. Because the most annoying thing is when you've done all of your food shopping and picked up everything that you need, everything that you think you need, and then you get home and realize like, I don't have laundry detergent. So just doing like a big sweep over everything to make sure that everything's kind of made it to the list. Herbs, spices, that's another one that I really try to keep on top of, because also you can go ahead and like buy up all of the basic vegetables for a meal and then realize like I don't have any dried rosemary, and that can be really annoying. So yeah, just going through all of the things and topping up what needs to be topped up. And yeah, so I am just going to pop this all into my list. Okay, and one of the next things that I like to do on a Friday is do a big fridge clean out. So just going through and tidying everything up, wiping down the surfaces, throwing out things that may be a bit old and gross, maybe like if there's old leftovers that didn't get eaten up, just going through the fridge, giving it a really good clean so that when you bring in all of your new stuff, it's going to feel really lovely and just organized, and you can see what you've got. It's also just like, yeah, good to like kind of take stock of everything that's in your fridge, like condiments, all the bits. I don't always do like a super deep clean of the fridge, just kind of like a wipe down. And I feel like if you do that every week, it never gets out of control. In the past, I feel like I've been like a bit lazy with all of this stuff, and I can just let things kind of build up until it's this huge job that feels intimidating, or just like you don't want to do it because you know it's going to require a lot of time, energy, deep cleaning. But I just find that when you're doing like really regular cleans, keeping on top of things, it never gets to that point where it's overwhelming. And that might sound like really common sense, but you know, sometimes we all just need like the little reminder, a little bit of encouragement to get on top of this stuff. Okay, so we have just gotten home from the Saturday markets. We like to pick up most of our fruit and veg at the market. I feel like our shopping trips are probably a little bit complicated. We do fruit and veg at the markets, then I'll pick up like some odd things from Woolworths. I also like to go into Market Organics if you're from Australia, and I'll pick up any like specialty items, like if we want to do gluten-free pizza bases and things like that, I'll get that from Market Organics. As well as like all of our dairy products I'll usually get from there. So we do like milk, cheese, yogurt. We like to buy Baramba. And then I'll also like to duck into source bulk foods. So if we're out of things like quinoa or rice, I like to get it from there. So it's a bit of a multi-part grocery haul. I actually did that triple run of Woolies, Source and Market Organics yesterday afternoon, and then today this is just kind of finishing it off. So I'm not going to bother going through the other parts of the haul like from Woolies, just because honestly I didn't get around to filming yesterday afternoon. But I thought I'd take you guys through our fruit and veg haul because that's always fun. I love seeing what people buy. So I am just going to start by unpacking all these bags. We like to take a backpack to the market because we've also got Florence in a backpack. Like I keep her in a backpack as we walk around. And it's just easy for Nick then to have a backpack and like some bags. So anyway, I'm going to unpack all of our goodies and show you what we got. Okay, and here we have it. This is our little fruit veg haul for the week. So this cost us, I think it was about $85 at the market. A lot of the things that we buy there are organic or spray-free. So we don't go to a dedicated organic market, but they have a mix of things that are either organic or spray-free. So they don't carry like the organic label, but they are presumably grown with fewer pesticides, etc. But yeah, I'll take you through what we bought. So over in this corner, I've got apples. These are essential. Florence is obsessed with apples. We like to get these ones. They are organic, but they're smaller than like a lot of other varieties, which is good for Florence because I feel like she'll take a few bites and like rarely fully finish a piece of fruit. So just having like a smaller apple for her is ideal. We have some potatoes. So we like to get the Dutch cream potatoes. I just find that they cook the best with everything. They're just like the best potato that we've come across. Got Brussels sprouts. We love the markets because there's just so much more diversity and variety. So sprouts, we managed to get some purple sprouts, which is something a little bit different, and regular sprouts. Zucchinis, always a staple. I always buy zucchinis. Like they're great for lunch. They're just kind of like, if I don't know what I'm making, like I'm reaching for a zucchini. Cucumbers, again, that's really lovely for Florence. Sweet potatoes, I think I have a few potato dishes this week, like things for going with potatoes, so it's just nice to change it up with some sweet potato. Mushrooms, we got some, I think these are shimeji, they're shimeji mushrooms, but just like that more specialty type mushroom, which Florence loves these because they look really cute and they're just like a good size for her. So we bought some of those. Then I bought a stack of these Swiss brown mushrooms just for various things throughout the week. They're nice to add to breakfast as like a side. Yeah, and Florence loves mushrooms, like all mushrooms. So often I'm cooking her mushrooms for breakfast, and we're just going through a mushroom phase at the moment. Then just like some other bits, so broccoli, beans. I like getting fresh herbs, although I've got some plans in terms of herbs I'll show you in a minute. But we've got some chives, which are lovely to put on breakfast. I also find that fresh herbs are so much more affordable at the markets, and just the amount that they give you. When you go to Woolies and you buy herbs, it's like a few little sprigs and it's expensive. The markets, like herbs are still gonna cost a little, but they give you so much. Like this will just last us really well. So some of those, I've got some blood oranges because Florence loves blood oranges at the moment. I feel like that's also the nice thing with markets. Like, as I said, so much more variety, which just makes the week like way more exciting when you've got a few more interesting things to try or to offer. Like last week we picked up like a bunch of kumquats, which is just something that you're never really gonna find in like Woolworths. You're only gonna find it at your farmers markets generally, or at least here in Australia. That might be different in other places, but yeah. So it's nice as well, just like being able to expose Florence to like lots of different seasonal produce. It's a little bit more exciting. I got a papaya as well because Florence loves papaya, so got one of those. We don't usually buy these, but it's like a special treat. Avocados, also just great for adding to breakfast or lunch or anything. Bananas, some nice, like they're Cavendish but they're a bit smaller, good size for Florence. And celery, because a lot of recipes do be calling for celery, and carrots. So, but yeah, that is the market haul. So I'm probably gonna go ahead and put these all away now into our fridge and get that all organized. So I've just popped the groceries away and I thought I might as well show you some other random things that I bought this morning, just because why not? We're already here. One of them was my glasses. So I got some new glasses that came in this morning, so I picked those up, and then I also got a few like little other things. But new glasses, they're pretty much like exactly the same as my old ones. And then we also, while we're at the markets, we got some herbs because I have intentions to try and grow some herbs in our little like back courtyardy area. I just think that would be really convenient because it's the closest spot to the kitchen, and why not? So I've got some hanging planters from IKEA and I did a little paint job on them the other day, and then we just picked up some herbs at the markets this morning. So we have some basil. I want to keep it not too complicated, so just like a few of the same type. Then we have dill. Love dill in like everything, honestly. Eggs, salmon, all bits. Chives, because I've been buying a lot of chives for our breakfast. I just find that it's like the easiest way to dress up eggs in the morning with like as little effort as possible. So I bought some chives and we'll see how they go. And then finally some thyme. So wish me luck. I'm going to try and plant them this weekend. And then one other random thing that I got was a plate or a bowl. A bowl or a plate. I don't know what you want to call it, but I don't like to spend a lot of money on like random home things. But about a year ago, we redid the kitchen. So it's kind of like an all white moment right now, which is lovely and like very fresh and just modern. And our space was really dark before, so having a lighter kitchen has been amazing. But I just feel like I want to add in some more elements that are a bit more like joyful, like just more colors. In terms of plates, I feel like I used to be really into like hand potted items, which I still am, but I'm just a little bit tired at the moment of like the all beige feeling. I feel like adding in like a bit more color, and when you kind of see something and go like I love it, like it's just the sign. So I got this little bowl. It's almost more like a serving bowl, like I would see putting like some salads and things in it. But I just really loved like this hand painted kind of look pattern. Just something like a little bit interesting, a little bit pretty, and I just can't wait to like put some salads in this in the summer. So that is the end of my random other things haul. If this is a video that you enjoyed and you want to see more of this kind of content, like more meal planning tips and like walkthroughs, drop me a comment below, let me know, because that actually helps me figure out what you guys enjoy, what's helpful, what you want to see more of. Give it a big thumbs up, comment below, subscribe if you're not already subscribed, and I will see you in the next video. Bye guys.